Hello, good afternoon to the both of you. Welcome back to our class. Hey, how's your week and so far?
I have I have a relax
Mm-hmm.
weekend day.
Mm-hmm. You have a relaxed weekend day. And are you
Yeah.
feeling better now, Miss Rose?
I feel better now. I
Mm-hmm.
woke up one day on
Mm-hmm.
Monday.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good thing that you are feeling great right now. How about you, Miss Tram? How's your weekend so far?
Mm, my weekend were great.
Hơi
Uh,
nhỏ.
hơi nhỏ à? My week. Hello, teacher.
Hello, Miss. The audio is the volume is too low, I think.
Uh, my weekend were great. I
Mm-hmm.
finished my work
Mm-hmm.
and spend thời gian chất lượng là gì ta? A quality time with my
Mm-hmm.
family.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. So it is also great. And of course, it's also a good thing that you are able to spend quality time with your family. Right? Now, I'm happy to see you both again in our class. Now, for our topic for this afternoon, we are going to continue with our lesson about unit number 5. And we are still under the ethical business unit. Right? So last time we already started with the first few activities for this lesson, and we talked about, of course, the article about our reason for being, and we talk about the different comprehension questions about that article. And then we also um, learned about the different vocabulary words. Okay, like for example, we learned about comply with regulations, donate time, reduce impact, act responsibly, take an active part in, stay true to its principles, and have a strong commitment to. So these are all the phrases that we learned and studied last time. And then we finish it off with okay, our discussion of the first listening activity, which is about the radio presenter questioning Shazam Azul about their business, okay, the gas and oil exploration company. Okay, do you remember this listening activity?
Yes.
Yeah, we are already finished with this, right? So in this listening activity, we heard about the interviewer style, that it's direct, and somehow the interviewer is challenging the interviewee to answer about some issues when it comes to gas and oil exploration. And the spokesperson reacted to questions in the most professional and business-like way. So he was able to respond to the interviewer's question, even though the questions were a bit negative. Okay. And then the spokesperson Shamsul Aziz was also able to give us what the company does for its staff, the environment, and the local community where it operates. Okay. Now, today we are going to continue with our next activity. So, look at the different words that we have in our activity 7. So, these are the words that we have heard in the interview. Now, which of these words do you find ethical and which are unethical? So, when we say ethical, it means that it follows the moral standards, not only of the company, but of the society. When we say unethical, it's not following the standards when it comes to morality. Okay, let's start with okay, the different words on the list. We have bribery. Okay, is it ethical or unethical?
unethical.
Okay, very good. So when we say bribery, it is unethical. And what does it mean when we say bribery?
The companies give money for government to
Mm-hmm.
uh, to have uh, activity their activity.
Mm-hmm. Correct, correct. So when we say bribery, of course, you are actually using the power of money, okay, for you to get, license, access to something. Okay, so when we talk about bribery, you pay, you give money, or you expect someone to return the favor once you have given the money. Okay, so that's bribery. How about ethics? Is it ethical or unethical?
Ethical.
Okay, from the word itself, ethics. So that means it follows the moral standards, right? How about deception?
Unethical.
All right, so this one is unethical. What do we mean by deception?
The company have activity not true.
Okay, so deception is actually a term that we associate with lies. So when we
Yeah.
say deception, you are telling untrue things about your product and about the company. Okay. How about this one? Responsibility.
Ethical.
So from the word itself, responsibility, right? So it's like you are able to follow through your duties and responsibilities or duties and, your task in the company. So this one is ethical. How about fairness?
Unethical.
Why is it unethical, Miss Rose? What
Uh,
do we
I
mean by
think
fairness?
I think fair is have activity good, but fairness is not good.
Okay, well, the word fairness is actually the same as fair. Okay, so when we say fairness, that's the noun. That fair is an adjective. So when we say fairness, you are treating people equally. Okay, so fairness is ethical. Okay, so again, fairness means treating people equally. Okay, it means you don't give favor to others. Okay, so
Okay.
fairness is considered as ethical. And last, Miss Rose, how about generosity?
I think it's ethical.
Okay, so this one is ethical, correct. So when we say generosity, what does it mean?
Uh, it is activity help the company help people or society.
Mm-hmm. Correct. So when we say generosity, it pertains to the willingness to give, okay, and to help. That's generosity. Next, let's have Miss Tram for the next words. Okay, let's start with the word values. Is it ethical or unethical?
Values is unethical.
Small.
Nhỏ quá. Value is unethical. Cho
Oh,
con xem
it's this one, unethical or ethical?
ethical.
Ethical. Okay. So what do we mean by values, Miss Tram?
Value is mean the uh, value of company. They can contribute to social or employee.
Mm-hmm. Correct. So when we say values, then it pertains to the characteristics that we uphold. Okay. So values are maintaining No, proper values is ethical. How about this one, Miss Tram? Corruption.
Corruption is
tham
unethical.
tham nhũng ấy.
It is unethical, correct. And what do we mean by corruption,
Ừm,
Miss Tram?
Corruption is something company
vẫn nhỏ lắm.
nó nhỏ à? It mean something they don't follow the rule of government.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, they don't follow the rule of the government, and it also involves dishonesty and the illegal uh things that the company may do. Okay, and when we say corruption, most of the time it pertains to, or it also covers financial handling.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we talk about corruption, of course, only few benefits. Okay, so that's corruption. And then we also have this word, prejudice. What is it? Is it ethical or unethical?
Is it unethical?
Correct. Why is it unethical, Ms.
Uh,
Tram?
Prejudice it is a part of the company to people or society.
Okay, so when we say prejudice, this is unfair treatment.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we talk about prejudice, well, it's your prejudgment, okay, about people, about things. Okay, so it's dishonest, it's unfair opinion, unfair feeling towards someone or something in the company. So this is unethical. Okay. We also have this one, credibility.
Credibility is ethical.
Mhm. Why is it
Um,
ethical?
it's so that the company has a build a trust
Mhm.
towards uh, their reputation.
Correct. So when the company stop, or when a company has credibility, of course, the people will find it trustworthy. So that means the people working in that company can also be, trusted. Someone that could be believable, or someone whom the people can rely on. That's credibility. How about this one? Greed.
Uh, Greed is unethical.
Mhm. Why is it unethical?
Uh, Greed is means they can trip money uh, or material.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, when we talk about greed, of course, this is the excessive desire, okay, for money, for resources, and of course, power.
Yeah.
Right? So when we talk about greediness of people, it's not always money, because there are also those inside the company who always want to be in the position who can control others. So that kind of excessive desire for position, in a negative way, it's also considered as greed. Okay? And the last is discrimination. Is it ethical or unethical?
Discrimination is unethical.
All right. Now, why
Uh,
is it unethical?
it's unethical because it shows that company treat everyone unfair.
Mm-hmm. All right. So it's also like prejudice, right? So when you have prejudgment, you already have that capacity to discriminate. So when we say discrimination, it is the unfair treatment of a person or group of people. So it can be because of age, because of gender, because of race, because of mental capacity, because of social status, etc. So we have different forms of discrimination. And sadly, sometimes it happens in the company, right? So, for example, you discriminate those who are good with, the not so good the members of the company. So it happens. Okay, so discrimination is an unethical behavior or part of a company. Okay, so these are the words that we have heard from the um, audio file last week. So let us review and say the different words again. Let's start from Miss Rose. Miss Rose, let's run through the different words we have.
Oh, different words.
Just read, Miss Rose. We have bribery.
Bribery. Uh,
Just
please
let's just
repeat.
read. Yeah, ethics. We are
At
just going to read the different words, Miss Rose. Let's start from the first one.
bribery. Ethic.
One more time. Ethics.
Ethics. Deception. Responsibility. Fairness. Generosity. Values. Corruption. Prejudice.
One more time. Prejudice.
Prejudice. Credibility.
Again, credibility.
Credibility. Writ. Discrimination.
One more time. Discrimination.
Discrimination.
All right. How about you, Miss Tram? Let's practice reading the words.
bribery, ethics, deception, responsibility, fairness, generosity, values, corruption, prejudice,
One more time. Prejudice.
prejudice, credibility, greed, discrimination.
All right, good. So, again, those are the different words that we have heard and learned from the previous activity. Now, aside from, of course, these words being unethical or ethical, let's complete this table with the adjectives and some of the nouns. So, there are words earlier that are considered as noun. Okay, so for example, we have deception. It is a noun. Now, if you are going to describe someone who always lie, then you can say that that person or the system or the company is deceptive. So this is now the describing word. Let me type it here, describing word. So when we say adjective, those are describing words, and you can use them to describe the noun. Okay, so for example, I don't like that company. It's deceptive. Okay, it means they always trick people. They always tell lies. Okay. How about responsibility? Okay, what do you think is the adjective for that?
Responsible,
Okay, good. That is responsible. Good. How about fairness? Fairness is a noun. How about the adjective?
finally,
Okay, when we say
Fair.
fairness, it's fair.
Fair.
Okay, so fair is the adjective. So they actually have the same meaning. It's just that fair is a describing word. How about generosity?
generosity,
Okay, this one is generous, correct. How about credibility?
credible,
That one is credible, correct. How about ethics?
ethical,
That's ethical. Okay, that just like the title of our unit, right? It's ethical. It means it follows norms. How about corruption?
corruptive,
This
corruptive,
one is
Tip.
corrupt.
Corrupt.
Okay, so when you say he is a corrupt president, then we are talking about corruption, right? How about prejudice?
Prejudice.
Okay, when we say prejudice, okay, we just add D. So prejudiced, okay, or prejudicial. Then we also have greed. What's the adjective for greed?
ED.
It's greedy, correct. So when you say, oh, he's a greedy person. Okay. And then we also have discrimination.
Discriminative.
Well, we in this kind of word for it to become an adjective, we say
Uh,
discriminatory. Okay. So you can say it's a discriminatory decision. It's a discriminatory act against an employee. Okay. So that means that you are discriminating someone. Okay. So these are the nouns and the adjectives, which you can also use to describe something ethical or unethical. Okay. So you may take note of these words so you can also use them, right? Now let's continue and have an activity. So now that you know the different words, I want you to read about the two companies and discuss how ethical you think they are. So you may use the different nouns that we have learned from earlier. Okay? So let's divide these two companies among the two of you. Okay. So we have your company X and company Y. Okay. So you have to tell me if the company is unethical or ethical. Okay. Let's start with company X. Let's have Miss Tram to read the different details first.
Yeah. Company X donated 100,000 trees to Nairobi, Kenya to add
To aid
reforestation to aid reforestation, provided funds for a project that gives loan for farmers and fishermen, established fund to promote research into
conservation,
conservation of drinking water, sponsor disabled,
disabled,
disabled sports in Germany, committed to offering equal entrance requirements to develop opportunity to male and female employees.
Okay, good. Next, let's have Miss Rose to read about company Y.
failure to perform routine in
Inspections,
inspection led to
corroded,
pylite, corroded pylite and oil leak. Oil spill has polluted large area of coastline. Lack of attention to safety led to oil refinery explosion, injuries to employees. Currently, an investigation into whether company manipulates oil market staff bought large quantity of company product, commit to renewable energy, invest heavily in solar and wind power, run a project to generate electricity from petroleum coke.
All right. So looking at the different things that these companies have done, which company do you think is ethical?
I think company X,
Okay, it's more ethical than company Y. Why do you think so, Miss Tram?
because company X contribute their value to social, like donors 100,000 trees
Mm-hmm,
to art reforestation,
mm-hmm,
uh, help farmer and fishermen fund to uh, for project
mm-hmm.
and to fund this.
All right. So you are saying that company X is more ethical than
Yeah.
company Y. And this company X also supports the idea of fairness, Miss Tram.
Yes,
Mm-hmm,
because uh, their commitment to offering equal entrances requirement and develop opportunity to male and female employees. It's
mm-hmm,
mean fairness
All
And
right, correct. And
beside company Y provide causes a lot of uh, environmental pollution.
mhm. All right, correct. So if you are going to take a look at the different statements under Company X, yes, they are actually highly ethical, and at the same time, they also promote fairness. Okay, like for example, they are giving equal opportunities to both male and female. So that means there's no discrimination. So if
Uh,
you're a male, female, you can work in their company. And at the same time, they also supports disabled sports in Germany. So that means they are funding, okay, the sports for disabled people. So that means they also cater not just for the abled, but also for the disabled ones. Okay. Thank you, Miss Tramp. How about you, Miss Rose?
I think it's ethical
Mm-hmm.
and is a company is unethical
All right. Why?
because it's happen activity good for society and local community
Mm-hmm.
by donate G
Mm-hmm.
to local
Mm-hmm.
and
Correct.
give for employees quality work and good environment.
Mm-hmm. All right. But take a look at company Y. They also have done something good, right? So they
Yeah,
committed to renewable energy, invested heavily in solar and wind power. Does it like a requirement for us to call company Y as ethical too?
because company is uh, lack of safe with employee and
Mm-hmm.
um, and illegal on environment.
Correct, correct. So there are more unethical things about company than the ethical ones because we have one, two, three, four unethical, and then we only have one. Okay. However, this kind of project, okay, there runs a project to generate electricity. It is also somehow connected to greediness because it's not stated here that they are giving the electricity for free, right? So it
Yeah.
means that yes, they are committed to renewable energy. They invested heavily on it. However, they still use petroleum, right? Which is again bad for the environment. Okay? So they don't care about, the employees. They don't care about what effect will the company have with the environment. So the company Y actually shows us deception. Okay, they actually has a responsibility when it comes to maintaining or performing routine inspection. And of course, they are also not generous when it comes to their employees, and they also cause injuries to their own employees. Okay, so they don't care much about, the environment and the people who are working with them. So their company Y is highly unethical, right? So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts about our activity number 10. Okay. Next one, let's continue and move on to another part of our lesson under ethical business. Okay, when you have an overseas trip for work or you are preparing for someone to visit, how important is the planning stage? Of course, part of being ethical is being mindful of time and schedule. Right now, can you tell us how important is the planning stage whenever you do overseas trip or you are preparing for someone to visit? Like, do you plan it months before? Do you consider budget?
I think we need prepare a lot of money and good health.
Mhm.
and important. We can have a visa if you want to overseas trip.
Ah, okay. So, Miss Rose, you made mention about prepare money. Whenever you have a business trip, do you shell out money or is it an all expense paid by the company?
Sometimes by company, but we buy first and one then I come back company. Company give then.
Ah, okay. So you reimburse. Okay, so that's
Yeah.
the process of what we call reimbursement. Reimburse. Okay, so that means you shell out money first, and then once you come back, you will submit all receipts to the company, and they will give you back the money.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
that's
Yeah.
that's what we use. That's the term reimburse. Okay, so that's the thing. You um
Reimburse.
prepare the money, you prepare your documents like your visa, okay, before your overseas trip. Okay. How about if someone is going to visit your company, Miss Rose? What preparations do you do if someone very important will visit your company?
My boss
Mhm.
and my coworker.
How do you prepare?
I feel repairs uh, um, plan.
Hmm. Okay, so you plan for the arrival of that VIP. Okay. How about you,
Yeah.
Miss Tram? Okay, how important is the planning stage when you have a business trip and whenever someone important visits your company?
Yes. I think make planning for cheap planning cheap for works is very important because it will help you shape in the other countries.
Mhm.
Um, the first uh, we should make a checklist to prepare necessary document or material includes money, uh,
Hotel.
Mhm.
booking ticket, uh, plan, hotel, um,
Phương tiện đi lại này.
uh,
Transport.
transport,
Transport.
uh, uh, transport or transit system in the
Mhm.
other country,
Mhm.
and how to connect with security when we get the stranger problem.
Mm. So there are so many things that you have to consider, right?
Yeah.
Especially if it's an overseas trip work, you have to get familiar on how to go to the company, and of course, you also need to bring all the documents that you need. Because if you left a document, it will be troublesome, right? How about Miss Tram? If someone is going to visit your company, how important is the planning stage, and what do you usually prepare?
I will send them an email to ask some necessary document for to visitor prepare before go to my company.
Mhm. Okay. So you send email, you ask for documents, and of course, you also need to brief them about what to expect and what to talk about in their visit, right? So, of course, you do a lot of things when it comes to the planning stage. It's either you go to a different country for a business trip, or if you are going to welcome someone very important to visit your company. However, sometimes, no matter how detailed we are in the planning stage, sometimes there are things that can get wrong. Right? Now, what can go wrong with the preparations? Okay, based on your experiences, what are the usual things that can go wrong in, your business trip or whenever someone important is going to visit your company?
They maybe forget the necessary document,
Mm-hmm.
uh, book the wrong flight.
Mm-hmm. Correct. So there are some things, that could happen that, may challenge someone's, planning ability because sometimes our plans will not always go the proper way as we plan. How about you, Miss Rose? Based on your experience, what can go wrong with the preparations?
Sometimes I let up airplane.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and I go to let my company.
Mm.
Or sometimes can wrong address.
Ah, there's wrong
Address.
address. Oh no.
Yeah,
All right. So if there will be, of course, wrong information, okay, in the
in the first time.
if it's the first time, it's really a challenge, right? Especially if the location is something very new to you, right? It's hard to locate sometimes, and that happens, right? So I think one of the things that may go wrong with the preparation could be schedule, okay? Especially if the person that you are about to meet is not in the place, your meeting place yet. So, if there can be concerns with the schedule, of course, it will have a domino effect with all the other aspects of, your planning stage. So, I think that's one of the things that may go wrong with the preparation because flights can be delayed, right? And then the person might arrive late in your company. So all the other activities that you plan may also be adjusted. Okay.
Yes.
So thank you so much for sharing. I need to get those insights from you because, well, here in the Philippines, teachers don't go to business trip. So we are not familiar with the procedure when it comes to attending business trips. Okay, but what we do is we visit different schools here in the Philippines. So that's the thing that I can share. Schedule is something very important whenever you are going to a trip for work or you are visiting a company. Okay. Now, let's take a look at the next part of our activity. So, here is the context. Let us read the context first, and then afterwards, we will do our next listening activity. Okay, let's have Miss Tram to read the context, please.
Oh, I can see. Okay, okay. Context. Hummingbird This focused on specialties from countries such as China, India, and South Africa. The unique selling point of the business is its method. It sources from small local farmers and sports fragile. It has recently brought in Clara, a PR cons- cons-
Consultant.
consultant, to help raise its profile. Claire had been organizing a trip for reporters from ethical consumer magazines to see Hummingbird's operation. She is meeting with the reporter to give detail of the trip.
All right. So this is our context. So we will be hearing about Hummingbird Teas. So Hummingbird Teas is a company and they specializes on teas from different countries. Okay. And we have here the unique selling point of the business is its ethos. Okay. So when we say ethos, it is actually a Latin term for ethics. So that means that's the selling point of the company. They are highly ethical. Okay, so it also sources teas from small local farmers. And they actually recently brought in Claire, okay, a consultant, to raise its profile so that they could also increase their profit. Okay, so now let us listen to part one of the meeting between Claire and reporters. So remember, in our context, okay, Claire has been organizing, let me highlight on this, a trip for reporters from ethical consumer magazines to see the hummingbirds operation. Okay, so let us see what are some of the changes to these notes. Okay, so I want you to listen to the audio and make any necessary changes to the notes listed in our activity 2. Okay, let's listen to to their conversation.
5.2 Part 1
Will we get our itinerary in writing after this meeting, or should we take notes?
We'll email you the final itinerary once you've decided what you'd like to see. And if you have any other questions, you can ask our travel coordinator, Janet Lawson. She's coming in later on this morning to speak with you.
Thanks.
So we're planning to show you how Hummingbird's operation works in China and some of the projects it's involved in.
That sounds good.
The idea is to spend 4 days at one of the sites where the tea is grown. This will give you the opportunity to talk to the locals who supply the company.
So, can we interview them?
Yes, but we advise you to set this up directly with them and ask their permission first. And of course, do be discreet and respect their privacy.
Of course.
While you're there, you'll get the opportunity to accompany the workers in their daily work. This will give you a real insight into their lives and how hummingbirds' teas are produced.
That sounds really interesting.
OK, now the schedules. We've looked at all the options and we're going to arrange 2 dates, one in February and one in May. The February flight leaves on the 15th, so we need fixed bookings from you by January the 10th.
Can I just ask, are we returning on the 19th or 20th of February?
The 20th. The trip will involve a lot of road travel and one internal flight, and we'll talk about...
All right, so I'll play the audio again and I want you to finalize your answers.
5.2 Part 1
Will we get our itinerary in writing after this meeting, or should we take notes?
We'll email you the final itinerary once you've decided what you'd like to see. And if you have any other questions, you can ask our travel coordinator, Janet Lawson. She's coming in later on this morning to speak with you.
Thanks.
So we're planning to show you how Hummingbird's operation works in China and some of the projects it's involved in.
That sounds good.
The idea is to spend 4 days at one of the sites where the tea is grown. This will give you the opportunity to talk to the locals who supply the company.
So, can we interview them?
Yes, but we advise you to set this up directly with them and ask their permission first. And of course, do be discreet and respect their privacy.
Of course.
While you're there, you'll get the opportunity to accompany the workers in their daily work. This will give you a real insight into their lives and how hummingbirds' teas are produced.
That sounds really interesting.
OK, now the schedules. We've looked at all the options and we're going to arrange 2 dates, one in February and one in May. The February flight leaves on the 15th, so we need fixed bookings from you by January the 10th.
Can I just ask, are we returning on the 19th or 20th of February?
The 20th. The trip will involve a lot of road travel and one internal flight, and we'll talk about...
All right, so that's the last part of the conversation. Now, what are some of the changes to the notes that we have on the screen? Okay, let's start from Miss Rose. Okay, let's take a look at the first bullet. Okay, what should be the change here?
She planned to China.
Okay, so there's no South Africa.
No.
Okay, correct. So the first one is...
5.2 Part
Okay, a trip planned to China. So there's no inclusion of the country South Africa. Okay, next, Miss Tramp. How about for the second bullet? What change should we have here?
4 days.
All right, good. So there should only be 4 days at a tree growing site or plantation. So it's not 5 days. Okay. Next, Miss Rose, how about for the third bullet?
I don't hear.
Okay, how about you, Miss Tram? Were you able to take note of this?
They want take opportunity to talk with a local farmer.
Okay, so it's not actually opportunities for sightseeing because it's not actually a tourist spot. So the members or the reporters from the ethical consumer magazines will be given opportunities to talk to locals and to accompany workers in their daily work. So they will be able to talk to locals and see how they work. Okay, so it's not really sightseeing only. How about this one, Miss Rose?
It is 50 on February
Okay, so well, there are 2 months mentioned in the
15.
conversation. It's yes, we have February, and the other one is May. So it's not March, but May. And then for the last bullet, Miss Trump.
One internal flight.
Okay, so it's not 2 internal flights, but only one. Okay, so these are all the information that we need to change from the notes that we have in the picture. Okay, and now that we are done with it, let's continue and take a look at the following. All right, so let's complete these phrases for explaining the plans and arrangements for the trip. Okay, now let's listen again to the conversation and take note what are some of the phrases that were used to complete the following statement. Okay, let me play the audio again.
5.2. Part 1.
Will we get our itinerary in writing after this meeting, or should we take notes?
We'll email you the final itinerary once you've decided what you'd like to see. And if you have any other questions, you can ask our travel coordinator, Janet Lawson. She's coming in later on this morning to speak with you.
All right, so that covered item number 1. What was used in the first part of the conversation? We blank once you have decided what you'd like to see.
Email.
Okay, good. So it was mentioned that
5.2.
okay, we will email you the final itinerary. Okay, so if you are again planning, some arrangement for the trip, I think this is the most common way to actually send them the information. So we'll email you the final itinerary. Now let's continue with number 2.
This morning to speak with you.
Thanks.
So we're planning to show you how Hummingbird's operation works in China and some of the projects it's involved in.
All right. How about for the second one?
We are planning.
All right. So we are planning to show you. Okay. So this way you already have an idea of what they will be doing once they arrive at the company. So we are planning to show you. Okay. Next one, let's have number 3.
That sounds good.
The idea is to spend 4 days at one of the sites where the tea is grown. This will
Okay. How about number 3?
The idea.
All right, good. So it's the idea or the good idea is to spend 4 days. Okay? So you are the person is also explaining how many days will they be spending to get, a full grasp of what's happening in the company. Let's have number 4.
give you the opportunity to talk to the locals who supply the company.
So, can we interview them?
Yes, but we advise you to set this up directly with them and ask their permission first. And of course, do be discreet and respect their privacy.
Of course.
While you're there, you'll get the opportunity to accompany the workers in their daily work.
All right. What's the next phrase?
To get opportunity.
All right, good. So we have this one. So you will get the opportunity to. So when we say opportunity, the chance to. So of course, aside from showing the company, it is also important that reporters will have the chance to talk to the workers and to see about their daily work. And let's have number 5.
This will give you a real insight into their lives and how hummingbirds' teas are produced.
That sounds really interesting.
OK, now the schedules. We've looked at all the options and we're going to arrange 2 dates, one in February and one in May.
All right. What's the missing phrase here?
Arrange 2 dates.
Okay, we going to arrange 2 dates. Okay, so these are the phrases for explaining the plans and arrangement for the trip, which you may also use as your sample phrases whenever you talk about plans and arrangements. And I'm sure you are using these terms already. Okay, now that we are completed our activity, let's continue and have our part 2 of the meeting. So we will answer the following questions. What activities and visits can reporters take part in? And what advice can Claire give about the guide? So let's listen to the second part of their meeting.
5.3. Part 2.
So that was the timetable. Now I'd like to tell you a bit about your stay. Feel free to ask any questions you may have. We'd like to invite you to watch the tea being prepared and spend a day sampling the local specialities, which are produced by the cooperative in the village.
That would be great. Does anyone there speak English?
On the whole, English isn't spoken, so we strongly recommend you stay with our guide, who can interpret for you.
Good idea.
On the subject of language, you're also welcome to visit a project set up to help build a new school.
That sounds really interesting. I'd like to take you up on that.
Good, but I should warn you it's quite a long trip. Let me know how many of you would like to do this, as it would be a good idea to travel with our interpreter.
That makes sense. We'll speak to our colleagues and let you know.
What about environmental projects?
The company is supporting a charity called Tree 2000 Foundation, and there's a reforestation scheme in one of the regions where it does business. As Hummingbird Teas is just a financial backer, it doesn't actively work in this field, but a visit to the site is highly recommended.
What will we see?
The project managers who work on site are all professional environmentalists. They'll explain what's happening to the area and show you what the charity is doing to improve the management of the forests. I was there for the first time last month and found it fascinating. It's well worth a visit.
That's not really what I'm looking for. The feature I want to write should focus more on the people.
Well, alternatively, we'd be delighted to introduce you to the team who work for Hummingbird in China. They aren't tea makers. They're employed to coordinate the business. I'm sure they have some interesting experiences they'd like to share.
That would be great. It's just the kind of thing I need.
OK, so let's just run through the itinerary.
All right. So were you able to take note of the information? Or you want to listen again?
Yes.
Listen again? All right. I'll play
Yes.
the audio again and let's identify the activities and the visit.
5.3. Part 2.
So that was the timetable. Now I'd like to tell you a bit about your stay. Feel free to ask any questions you may have. We'd like to invite you to watch the tea being prepared and spend a day sampling the local specialities, which are produced by the cooperative in the village.
That would be great. Does anyone there speak English?
On the whole, English isn't spoken, so we strongly recommend you stay with our guide, who can interpret for you.
Good idea.
On the subject of language, you're also welcome to visit a project set up to help build a new school.
That sounds really interesting. I'd like to take you up on that.
Good, but I should warn you it's quite a long trip. Let me know how many of you would like to do this, as it would be a good idea to travel with our interpreter.
That makes sense. We'll speak to our colleagues and let you know.
What about environmental projects?
The company is supporting a charity called Tree 2000 Foundation, and there's a reforestation scheme in one of the regions where it does business. As Hummingbird Teas is just a financial backer, it doesn't actively work in this field, but a visit to the site is highly recommended.
What will we see?
The project managers who work on site are all professional environmentalists. They'll explain what's happening to the area and show you what the charity is doing to improve the management of the forests. I was there for the first time last month and found it fascinating. It's well worth a visit.
That's not really what I'm looking for. The feature I want to write should focus more on the people.
Well, alternatively, we'd be delighted to introduce you to the team who work for Hummingbird in China. They aren't tea makers. They're employed to coordinate the business. I'm sure they have some interesting experiences they'd like to share.
That would be great. It's just the kind of thing I need.
OK, so let's just run through the itinerary.
All right, so let's now take a look at the different activities and visits can the reporters take part in. Were you able to take note? What are those activities or visits?
I hear that there is a village helper activity.
Okay, so of course, the first one there is the tipping ceremony of the village. Okay, and then the reporters are also encouraged to have the sampling of teas. Okay, since the Hummingbird Company is experienced and they produce teas from different countries, so the reporters can do sampling of teas. What else?
Yeah, and I hear that Australia is speak English,
Okay,
and
so that's for number 2. Okay.
yeah,
Okay, the guide can speak English. Okay, what else?
and needs have a travel, and so they can help build school.
Okay, so when it comes to the mentioning of the school, that is also one of the visit that they will partake in. So they will visit, visit the project, the school that the company is having a project on. Okay, but it's a long travel. Where else will they visit?
And the company has experience in improve the environment forest.
Okay, correct. So that is another itinerary that they will have. So they will visit the forest. In fact, this is actually the project 332,000. Okay, so they will visit the forest. And the last one, what's the final activity mentioned in the conversation? Okay, one of the reporters said that he is not interested much in projects. Okay, because there is another thing that he wanted to focus on in his report or in his feature writing. What's the last part of, or the last activity that was mentioned in the conversation? It's about the interview of the workers. Okay, so that's the last part. So the reporter said, I'm not interested with those things. I'd like to focus on the people. So the last part, Claire explained that the reporters will also have a chance to interview workers, okay, especially those who are into the business, okay. Not really the team makers, but those who are in charge of the company. Okay, so these are the different things that we have listened and heard from the conversation. Now, aside from stating that the guide can speak English, what advice did Claire give to the reporters?
Reporter.
Okay, the reporters should. Okay, since the only the guide can speak English, of course, the reporters should stay with the guide. Okay, so that they will have an interpreter because the people in Hummingbird Tea don't speak English because they are locals. All right. So that's the advice that Claire give about the guide and about the activities that they will have. So they can go and see the different areas, but as much as possible, they have to stay with their guide so that they will have an interpreter. Okay, because English is not used in the hallway and in the places that they will visit. Okay, so these are all the information that we are able to get from the part two of their meeting. Now let's
5.
continue and take a look at the following. Okay, so we have to complete the following with the phrases used in the conversation. I don't have a copy of, hold on, the listening text. Okay, let me just copy the audio file. And let me share it again.
5.
All right, so let's listen again and complete these phrases.
5.3 Part 2.
So that was the timetable. Now I'd like to tell you a bit about your stay. Feel free to ask any questions you may have. We'd like to invite you to watch the tea being prepared and spend a day sampling the local specialities, which are produced by the cooperative in the village.
All right, so what is the missing phrase in our sentence number 1?
We'd like to invite to
Okay, correct. So that's the first phrase. We'd like to invite you to watch the tea being prepared. Okay, so this one is the first activity that they will actually be doing. Next, let's have number 2.
That would be great. Does anyone there speak English?
On the whole, English isn't spoken, so we strongly recommend you stay with our guide who can interpret for you.
Good.
All right, so what's the missing phrase to number 2?
Strongly. Strongly recommend.
All right, let's see. It's strongly recommend. So yeah, so English isn't spoken, so we strongly recommend you stay with our guide. How about number 3?
Good idea.
On the subject of language, you're also welcome to visit a project set up to help build a new school.
That sounds really interesting.
All right, let's have number 3. What's the missing phrase here?
you also well to come
Okay,
about
you're
project.
okay, good. So you're also welcome to visit. So that means you can also go there. Okay. And then what's the response of the reporter in number 4? Let's listen.
Set up to help build a new school.
That sounds really interesting. I'd like to take you up on that.
Good.
All right, so let's have number 4. What are the 2 missing phrases here?
That sounds
That is
interesting.
that sound really interesting.
Okay, so we have that sounds really interesting. How about the second part? It was mentioned, I'd like to take you up on that. So that means that the person is interested to visit the project. Okay, so instead of saying, "Oh, that sounds good, that sounds really interesting, I'd like to visit." So instead of using "I'd like to visit," you can also use this phrase, "I'd like to take you up on that." So that means that you're expecting that the person will accompany you to visit the project. Okay. Let's have number 5.
But I should warn you, it's quite a long trip. Let me know how many of you would like to do this, as it would be a good idea to travel with our interpreter.
Okay, how about number 5? What's the missing phrase?
Quite a long trip.
Okay, it's quite a long trip. Let's see, as it travel with our interpreter. So remember, okay, there is a strong recommendation to stay with the guide. So for number 5, it would be a good idea to travel with our interpreter because the interpreter is also the guide. Okay. Next, let's have number 6.
That makes sense. We'll speak to our colleagues and let you know.
What about environmental projects?
The company is supporting a charity called Tree 2000 Foundation, and there's a reforestation scheme in one of the regions where it does business. As Hummingbird Teas is just a financial backer, it doesn't actively work in this field, but a visit to the site is highly recommended.
Okay, what is the missing phrase in number 6?
To highly recommend it.
Okay, so a visit to the site is highly recommended. So that means that a visit to the site, it could also be a good experience to the reporters. Okay, so instead of saying a visit to the site is good, then you can say it's highly recommended. Let's have number 7.
What will we see?
The project managers who work on site are all professional environmentalists. They'll explain what's happening to the area and show you what the charity is doing to improve the management of the forests. I was there for the first time last month and found it fascinating. It's well worth a visit.
Okay, what's the missing phrase in number 7?
Foul factor.
L what visit?
Okay, it's well worth a visit. Okay, so that means that since it is highly recommended, then it is worth a visit. So it means that you will not waste your time in going to the forest. Okay, so instead of saying it's a good place, then you can say it's well worth a visit. Okay. How about number 8?
That's not really what I'm looking for.
Okay, what's number 8?
That what not
Really?
Okay, that's not really what I am looking for. So when you say that this is actually a way to not accept an idea. Okay, so if you want to reject an idea, then you can say that's not really what I am looking for. So that is a way to actually say no. Right? So for example, when someone is offering you something and your answer is no, instead of saying, no, I don't like it, you can say, that's not what I am looking for. Let's have number 9.
The feature I want to write should focus more on the people.
Well, alternatively, we'd be delighted to introduce you to the team who work for Hummingbird in China.
Okay, what is the missing phrase in number 9?
We'd be delighted.
All right. So we'd be delighted to introduce you. So when we say delighted, you are happy, right? And let's have number 10.
They aren't tea makers, they're employed to coordinate the business. I'm sure they have some interesting experiences they'd like to share.
That would be great. It's just the kind of thing I need.
All right. So what's the missing phrase in number 10?
It's the kind of thing that I need.
Okay, very good. So that would be great. It's just the kind of thing I need. So that means you are accepting the idea, right? So again, we have here a way to reject or to say no. And there is another phrase here to say yes. Okay, now let us practice saying the sentences. Okay, let's start from Miss Rose. Let's practice saying sentences in number 1 to 10. Let's start, Miss Rose.
We would like to invite you to watch the tea being prepared.
How about number 2?
English isn't spoken, so we strongly recommend you stay with our guide.
One more time, with our guide.
With our guide. On the subject of language, you also welcome to visit a project set up to help build a new school. That sounds really interesting. I would like to take you up on that. As it would be a good idea to travel with our interpreter. A visit to the site is highly
Recommended.
recommended. I was there for the first time last month. It's well worth a visit. That's not really what I'm looking for. Well, alternatively, we would be delighted to introduce you to the team who work from Hummingbird in China. That would be great. It's just the kind of thing I need.
Okay, thank you, Miss Rose. Next, let's have Miss Tram.
We'd like to invite you to watch the tea being prepared. English isn't spoken, so we strongly recommend you stay with our guide. On the subject of language, you're also welcome to visit a project set up to help build a new school. That sounds really interesting. I'd like to take you up on that, as it would be a good idea to travel with our interpreter. A visit to the site is highly recommended. I was there for the first time that month. It's well worth a visit. That's not really what I'm looking for. Well, alternatively, we'd be delighted to introduce you to the team who work for Hummingbird in China. That would be great. It's just the kind of thing I need.
All right. So thank you so much for reading our featured sentences. So these are also the same sentences that we have listened to earlier. Now that we are done, let's
5.
take a look at the following. So, which of these sentences do you find inviting? Which phrase, which statement is inviting someone to do something?
Invite someone.
Yes,
Uh,
this one.
We
we'd like to invite you to
All right. So we have number, oh, let
one.
me just
three
type it here. How about number one? Is it also inviting?
uh,
Yes.
Yes, it is, right? So we have letter A. Let me
Uh,
just label these.
yeah.
What
So,
else?
so nine.
Number nine as well, correct. This is also inviting. What else?
Number five.
Number five. Well,
three
this one
three
is more on a recommendation. So number three is also an invitation. Okay, number five, it would be a good idea to travel with our interpreter. This one is more on recommendation. Okay, to travel with an interpreter. So let me label it. Okay, we have, okay, now recommending. So, of course, it recommends or you suggest ideas. So, what number falls under recommending?
Number two.
Okay, we have number two, correct.
Number five.
Number five,
Number six.
number six.
Number
Oh, I think
seven.
I was there. It's well worth a visit, correct. How about this one? How to respond to an invitation?
The left.
Okay, we have number four, right? So this one is a way to respond to an invitation. What else?
Eight.
We also have number eight, and the last one is number 10. Okay, so in these sample sentences, we have these purposes. So there are statements that are intended to invite someone to do something, others are used to offer ideas or options. And then letter C talks about how to respond to the invitation. So that's it. Now let's take a look at the next activity. So we have to read this information about activities organized by Hummingbird Teas. So choose information A or B and take turns to invite or make recommendations to things to do or points out to look. Decide for yourself if you want to accept or decline. Okay. So we have here two examples of activities. Now, I want Miss Tram to use the information in option A to invite Miss Rose to visit Hummingbird Teas. And then Miss Rose, you will invite Miss Tram using the information in letter B.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's start from Miss Tram. What will you say to Miss Rose if you will invite her? So let us cover this first and let's have Miss Tram. So you will invite Miss Rose to go to Hummingbird Teas. And these are all the information that you will have to say.
Miss Nhung, I'd like to invite you to visit Hummingbird Tears and see how the hummingbird tear practice fair trade.
Okay, what will she do during that day?
Activity. We will watch the presentation about the slow food movement in Europe and how hummingbird deer's activity complemented and then this dating rate in it is and then that thing and then we will have a party to take teas and exotic teas. This is it is called it is very what is they to you understand more about this arrive early for this studying early thing in a group. I love to recommend you that you should arrive early for the testing only 10 people in because there this because there are only 10 people in group so if you go too late you will left behind.
Okay, or you will not be selected, right? Okay, so thank you, Miss Tram, for inviting Miss Rose about the Hummingbird Tea Information Day. So the kind of activity that they have is the Information Day. So that means that the company will be open. Okay, to give information about the company. So you will show how and why does Humming Tea Bird practice fair trade. And these are the recommended activities for the day. And this is your advice, okay? That you have to arrive early for tea tasting because only 10 people in each group will be selected. Okay? And if you arrive late, then you will miss the chance to be selected for the tea tasting activity. Okay. All right. Now this time it's Miss Rose's turn to invite Miss Tram for the hummingbird tea. This one is an informal visit. Go ahead, Miss Rose.
Okay. Welcome, Mitchum, to Hummingbird Teas. We have informal visits all day. including presentation, the man behind diversity. But we have a recommend activity with I want to say with you. Hummingbird tea have to make a difference. Slideshow of tree planting in the Himalaya, and we have a workshop tea making. Uh, you can make the perfect. You can now how to make the perfect cuppa. But I have advice for you. Uh, Test the us workshop before buying.
Mhm. And
Welcome with welcome Mr. Trump to Hummingbird Tea.
all right. So very good, Miss Rose. So you have your welcome statement and your closing statement as well. So this one is an informal visit. So it doesn't involve much activities, right? But we have here the slideshow, okay, of tree replanting, okay, in the Himalayas and the tea making workshop. Okay? And why do you think, Miss Rose, this is the advice? Taste teas at workshop before buying.
Uh, if you test the at workshop, you not lie or not lie.
Mm-hmm. Correct. So you would know which one is suitable for your taste. So you won't actually spend money on teas that you don't like, right?
Yeah.
All right, so good job. So, whenever you are inviting someone in a company event, it is important that you begin your sharing about, of course, a little bit about yourself. So, you can say, "Hello, I am Freya. I am from Hummingbird Teas Company." And then you can give a little bit about the company. We are one of the companies who focuses on tea making. And then I'd like to invite you. So you can actually use the phrases, I'd like to invite you for our information day or to our informal visit day. And then you can give information about what that celebration or what does the event highlights. Okay. And then I highly recommend you to participate on activities like, and then you can say the different activities that the visitor could take part in. And then I strongly advise, since you are giving an advice and you are from the Hummingbird Company, then you can say, I strongly advise you to arrive early for the tea tasting because only 10 people in each group will participate. Or I highly advise or I highly recommend you to taste teas at workshop before buying them. Okay, so that way you will be sound professional and at the same time you sound like you are an expert in the company. And then close the statement by saying, I am looking forward to see you in our informal visit day and let's get connected. You may reach out at, and then you can give your contact details. So that way, you will also be able to contact the person during the day of your event. Okay. So these are the examples, okay, on how you can invite someone to your company event. Now, on our next meeting, we will also be doing the same activity. So we will be doing our activity eight. So you will have to think like if your company has an open day or an event where you can welcome guests, okay, to give customers an insight into your company's operation. Now, I want you to think of these things. Okay, number one, make a list of the things you plan to show your guests on the day. Two, any recommendations of things to do or points to look out for? What are some of the highlights of your company or what is your company good for? And things you hope to invite your guests to do. And of course, you have to close it with an advice, just like the pattern right here. So you have to say what is the event that you usually have in your company. What recommended activities do you organize during that day, and what's your advice? Okay. So these are the things that I want you to prepare, and then we will have the sharing of your company events on our next meeting. All right. Do you have any question about the activity?
No.
No. How about you, Miss Rose? Do you have any question?
Uh,
None?
I can join it uh on at your company.
Oh, yes, yes. Oh, you have to think of an event of your own company. This one.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah.
all right. Is it clear now, Miss Rose?
Yeah. I
Okay.
clear.
All right, it's clear. All right, so that's all for our session today. Thank you so much for coming to our class, and I'll see you again on our next meeting. Goodbye, Miss Rose and Miss Tram.
Have a nice day.
You too.